What is up, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of Songs for Breakfast. As always, I am your host, Chris. I believe I say that every episode. I believe I say, as always, I am your host, Chris. I think this is like the 8th episode, so if you don't know that I'm the host by now, there's no helping me or you. I think we're both screwed, I think is what's happening, if you don't know by now. I'm not sure I know by now. I mentioned in last week's episode that I was going to an Orville Peck concert, and I just wanted to say that concert was amazing. One of the best concerts I've seen. I didn't have country concert being one of the best I've ever seen on my 2023 bingo card. But as it turns out, it was one of the best I've ever seen. So it was really awesome. If you get a chance to see Orville Peck, even if you're not a big fan of country, you should absolutely take it because it was an incredible show. He puts on such a good show. His band's awesome. He's awesome. Cheap tickets. So if you get a chance, absolutely go. Do the thing because it's well worth it. This week, I think we'll get into some good old-fashioned blues metal. Why not? For the past few weeks, I've talked about slow melodic music. So this week, I think we're going to get into heavy and guitar-driven with vocals that sound like nails in a cement mixer. And I know nails in a cement mixer doesn't sound pleasant, but it is a compliment when you're talking about Philip Anselmo and the song Stone the Crow from the 1995 album NOLA by the American heavy metal band Down. To start with this song, we need to understand what Stow the Crow even means within the context of the song, right? Because it's called Stone the Crow. He says Stone the Crow. You got to understand, what it means, what Stone the Crow even means. So Stone the Crow is an idiom with many meanings, such as used to show surprise or annoyance. Or in the case of the context of the song, it is meant to refuse to give up. You know, if you stone the crow, you refuse to give up. So, because you're not killing the crow's not being killed. So you're not dying, you're not giving up, you're not stoning. You stone the crow. So the interesting thing about this song really is that Anselmo claims that the lyrics are just something he thought of to fit the melody of the song. They seem to have a pretty solid meaning to me when you look at them, so let's get into it. Even though he says they mean nothing, I think that they do. I think that he's pulling our leg. He's telling a little fib. Maybe a little fib. He is Phil Anselmo, but I think Anselmo's, telling us a little fib. So the first verse, and you'll see as the song goes on why I think it does mean something, right? So the first verse, it says, "A bout of deep depression, can't seem to move it forward. My lying eyes lie awake, not sure what I am after." So he's saying that he's suffering. He say that he going through the depression, and he lies awake. He can't find the motivation to move forward or go after something. This is relatable, as I also have depression, and I can often, there's some days I just can't find a reason to get out of bed, From the end of that verse, which is a pretty short little first verse, we move into the huge catchy chorus, the part that everybody knows, the part that, you hear people scream out at concerts when they play. He says, "I never died before, can't help what happened yesterday, I never stoned the crow." No. I think here he's saying that he never died before, using it as a metaphor for giving up. I don't think he literally means dying, obviously. But he can't change what has happened, so he isn't going to stone the crow. If stoning the crow means refusing to give up or die, he's saying that he never did that, so he's going to lay down and give up. So this is where it gets kind of complicated and kind of weird. Like, he said, stoning the crow means refusing to give up, so he's saying he never stoned the crow, which means he is going to give up. So that means he's going to lay down under the weight of his depression. It's an easy thing to do. A number of times I felt like I wanted to give up and just not go on. Sometimes you think, I'm not going to stone the crow, I'm not going to refuse to give up. We then move into a second verse, right, which is, "Flip through endless stories, a life of handwritten pain. No one can share this hurt that is mine, mine, mine." Like, this is one of the verses that was talked about that was just meant nothing, and this, he says it's largely nonsense, but I think he's just messing with us, and to me it makes perfect sense. He's going back through stories of his past, realizing that his pains of his past were perpetrated or handwritten by him. I just did air quotes. You guys can't see it, but I said handwritten with air quotes. I even wrote it with quotes. So, but the pains of his past were handwritten by him, and he has no one to share the pain with. That'll bring us to when he's saying I don't know what I'm saying. I have no clue. I'm I'm struggling today, guys. I'm struggling today. But he has no one to share the pain with, and as it brings the chorus to repeat about how he's just going to lay down and give up. He's just gonna be done with it. And this makes sense to me, right? He has this stuff that he's just going to lay down and give up. His past is his own fault. And a lot of things, and I can relate to that as well, because a lot of things that seem to hurt me are things that I've had a hand in the past. Some of these things I shouldn't be proud of, and they only seem to worsen the hurt of the depression. So I don't think that even though I jumbled it up and messed up my explanation there, I don't think that he is truly just ad-libbing. I think that he, I think that he had a reason for wording it the way that he worded it. Whether it be, I think he was, just a little, historical fact. I know that there was some drug abuse during that time. Maybe he doesn't really remember the reason that he wrote it. But, I think there is more meaning there than he's letting on. So we get another chorus, right, of I never died before, can't help what happened yesterday, I never stoned the crow. No, so we get that chorus again. And then we move into the final verse. And it's a little bit different. It says, it's not the same format as the other two verses. He says, same old city, same old pain. No matter how hard I try, no matter what I say, I'm blamed, I'm shamed, I'm judged unfairly. So it doesn't matter where he is, or he feels that same old pain. And he is saying no matter what he does, he takes the blame and feels just horrible about it. Though sometimes he feels he's judged and he shouldn't be. Everybody makes mistakes. Everyone messes up. I feel this in my day-to-day life. I've been blamed, shamed, and judged. Sometimes I deserved it. Sometimes I didn't. But it doesn't matter where you go, it happens. Right? And I think that's what he's saying. It doesn't matter what city he's in, where he's going. He always feels these things. So after that, we come to the final verse. Right? It's altered, or final chorus, not final verse. We just did the final verse. I'm on the struggle bus today, guys. I can't hold it together today. But, I'm having a hard time talking. The final chorus has changed. It says, so now I've died before. It feels as bad as yesterday. I never stoned the crow. No, you too have died before. I fought as hard as yesterday. I never stoned the crow. No. So now he's saying that he has laid down and died before. He's given up. Unfortunately, it hasn't made him feel any better, and it rarely does. But once again, he has refused to give. Once again, he has never refused to give up. He also states that I'm having trouble gathering my thoughts today. I'm tired. I think it's my problem. We've all given up in the past, and maybe even we fought as hard as he has. Maybe we fought hard to not to as he has. But once again, he reiterates that he hasn't refused to give up. He hasn't stoned the crow. I try not to give up every day. I fight harder than the day before to just keep pushing forward. And Philip Anselmo, the singer and lyricist of Down, I believe he's the lyricist. He's had a really long and fruitful career with multiple bands, even since this song was released. So I'm glad that he didn't give up, that he's kept pushing forward as well. But yeah, that's my little quick analysis of Stone the Crow this week. Have you guys heard Stone the Crow before? Is it a new song for you? What did you think of it? Do you agree with my interpretation of it? Kind of a brief episode, not a very long song, but a great song nonetheless. That is, I know that I just asked you guys like a whole lot of questions at once there in sequence, and I apologize. But I think sometimes great songs ask us to ask a lot of questions. But as always, you can get a hold of me at songsforbreakfast@gmail.com. Sorry if I kind of stumbled and mumbled today. I don't know what's going on with me. My brain's just running at 1,000,000 miles an hour. But miles? I can't even speak. I'm done. This episode's over. Thank you all for listening, and have a wonderful day.